Good afternoon, my friends. Just finished a zone 2 heart rate run, which made me want to talk about zone 2 heart rate. Got faithful Jack the dog. Where'd he go? There's Jack the dog. He wasn't listening very well earlier, but now he's listening well, really well, actually. So you might be able to hear the lawnmower in the background. See that it's November 22nd and it's 60 degrees out. Might be one of the last nice days. I think it's going to be nice all week, but that's one of the blessings of living in North Dakota. We get a really, really nice, really hot summer, and then we get goes from summer to fall overnight. Seems like this happens often. The other day, the high was like 40, maybe 38, I don't remember, and we had wind all day, and you think, okay, I guess this is it. It's the middle of October. I can live with this. And then all of a sudden you get a week, maybe two of this, high 50s and 60 degrees again. So you kind of get a little taste and reminder that winter's coming, followed by a little grace of God, 60 degrees and sunshine. No, Jack, we don't live there. Come on. So I said last time, a couple times ago, that I was going to talk about zone 2 heart rate because I'm training zone 2 heart rate, and I want to teach and explain some of the benefits and the reasons for doing zone 2 heart rate versus zone 2 pace. Like I've said before, I think every runner that I coach, if I tell them go out and run a zone 2 pace, it doesn't matter if they got an hour of sleep last night or ate crappy yesterday or are sick. I know everyone I coach well enough to know that they're going to do their darndest to get zone 2 pace because that's what their training plan says and they trust their coach. I'm thankful for that, but I've just been thinking a lot about it and doing some research on zone 2 heart rate, and I think it's the superior way to go. And today's run is exactly kind of what I was hoping for as a precursor to this talk. I had one last week. I did a zone 2 heart rate run. It was 10:30 was my pace. And I thought, oh, that'll work. That's a slow zone 2. And I recorded a video, but Jack wasn't behaving that day. And I had to stop and correct him a whole bunch of times. I thought I'd pushed record and talked for like 3 minutes and hadn't. So I decided to scrap that and do that talk again. And today ends up being the perfect day. I'm feeling good overall, but today's zone 2 heart rate, to stay in zone 2, I had to run at an 11:05 pace. Every time I sped up, my heart rate went up into the high 140s. Jack. This way. My zone 2, this way. My zone 2 heart rate is between 128 and 142. So I try to stay in that 135 range, right in the middle. And today, to stay in that range, was 11:04 per mile. Every time I looked at my watch to check both, and my watch is also set to let me know if I get too high or if I'm not in range. So I'd look and I'd be 135, 137, right at 11:04, 11:05. And I've got several reasons for that, or theories on that. I was wheezing the entire run, even at that pace. My throat wasn't closing up, but it doesn't feel great. It doesn't hurt. It's just like I was wheezing. Don't know why. Ate some sugar last night, I'm sure. Yeah, we had Famous Dave's, and I just had plain brisket, and I had wings, and I had fries. Fries were fried in seed oil, ate ranch. So I know I've got some inflammation. Is that the cause? I can't say that. One thing I do know for sure, I've been pushing it harder at the gym. I was very upset with myself about a month ago for how weak I got over the summer. Like, I was embarrassingly weak, in my opinion. I won't even tell you how I could tell because it's embarrassing. I'll tell you another day. And so I've been pushing it at the gym, not in anger, just been consistent. back to open gyms on Sundays, going through a squat cycle, doing some push-ups every day, pushing it harder during workouts. So, okay, let's cross, Jack, this way. So maybe I'm not recovered. I have been sleeping better. Over the last month, I've been averaging 6.5 hours of sleep a night, which anybody that knows me knows that's really good for me. I'm trying to get it higher. Now that winter's coming, maybe I can get it even higher, over 7. But anyway, so I've been pushing it hard. Didn't eat the best dinner last night, but I struggle to blame dinner. I know there's some inflammation from the dairy and the seed oil that the fries were cooked in, but I can't blame today's run on that. But my point is that zone 2 heart rate is affected by physiology, what's going on inside of your body. So today, perhaps it would have been done more harm than good had I gone out and stuck to a true zone 2 pace, 9.5 or whatever my zone 2 is right now. And accumulatively over time, you're going to potentially run a lot harder, a lot more often than you're recovered for. And so running zone 2 heart rate allows your body to adjust itself, to self-regulate. Today, my body is not in top condition. Only it knows why, what the real reason is. Only God knows why. But 11:04 was my zone 2 heart rate, so that's what I ran. A year ago, 2 years ago, I would have been disgusted with that run. I would have put in the Garmin asks me how it felt. I would have put that was easy. Today I was honest. It was a little bit hard because of the wheezing and legs are sore, back is tight. So being honest, and I'm going to continue the zone 2 heart rate training for as long as I'm training, I suspect. And I may try to convince a couple of my runners that have been with me long term, that trust me, that have some experience, to do the same thing. Because one of them for sure that I have in mind, he's asked about it already, but he's a pretty consistent CrossFitter and he follows his training plans to a T, and he's doing really, really well. So I would be pretty excited. He's young enough that I think he's going to be running ultras for a while. So it would be really interesting to have him do zone 2 heart rate long term alongside me, so it's not just a study of one. So that's where I'm at. That's my zone 2 heart rate update. Lesson of the day: if you consistently run zone 2 heart rate versus zone 2 pace, I believe that your body will be better off. Your race performance will be better off. You will get faster over time. Your VO2 max will go up. Your pace will go up. Your zone 2... No! He listened. I actually had to spank him earlier. First time in probably a year. I'm glad I did, because he just about went after a dog just now. Lesson of the day. I'll start again. Long term, running heart rate zone 2 is going to be better on your body. You will get faster. Your zone 2 heart rate will get higher, and you'll be better recovered, more prepared for race day. So I'm excited to continue doing it and excited to see. And whenever there's a big change, if I come out next time and I run tomorrow, or I don't even know what day it is, Saturday or whatever, and it's a big difference, I'll jump on again and tell you about that. But until then, enjoy this beautiful sunshine, my friends. Look at that blue sky, a little bit of clouds, beautiful sunshine, beautiful fall day in North Dakota. And there's tired Jack stopped in front of the house. I kept walking so I could finish this. Enjoy the day, my friends. Until next time.